would you rather play for, Williams or Coach K?
Me personally, it would be Roy Williams. Coach K is obviously deified. He's one of the greatest coaches we've ever seen, and I'm very, very fond of Coach K. This is not to be disrespectful. I'm sure he's a great coach and what have you. The one and done thing, though, I have to give respect where it's due in this day and age for Roy Williams to get All-Americans, but not the quality of players you're seeing go to Kentucky and you're seeing go to Duke. And then you look at his resume and just look at what he's done. You're talking about 5 Final Four appearances. This is since he arrived at North Carolina in 2003. He's got 3 national championships, okay? He's got 11 ACC titles. I'm like, let's look at what Roy Williams has done. And all we ever find ourselves talking about is Coach K and what he's done. 3 Final Four appearances, 2 national championships, 9 ACC titles. I mean, you just see all of this stuff. Here's the thing. What I ultimately side with Roy, I'm an underdog rooter per se. Not that North Carolina is a quote-unquote underdog per se, but when you think about Duke, you got to look at North Carolina as the underdog. And I've always had a problem with this. And to be quite honest with you, it's the only problem I've ever had with Coach K. I have never approved of him being the Olympic coach for 3 separate Olympics. You know, 2008, 2012, 2016. I have always been adamantly and profoundly opposed to that. I don't care what anybody says, even though it might not always show because it didn't stop Calipari from getting some of the athletes that Duke might have gotten or whatever. I think that gave Coach K an advantage no matter what anybody says. Nobody can change my mind on that. You can't have a guy who was great in and of himself, already a Hall of Famer, deified, and rightfully so, coaching LeBron and Kobe and Melo and Durant and everybody else in Olympic competition and tell me that that does not give you a favorable advantage. Well, I'm just saying, I'm not saying he wasn't worthy of it. I'm saying there were others.
It tells you something else. It tells you those guys want to be coached by Coach K. In fact, Kobe Bryant talks about that, right? Like a regret he didn't go to college so he could get coached by Coach K.
Time out.
Coach K is a disciplinarian. So if you prefer Roy Williams, really what you're saying is you prefer that style. Because substantively, it's like saying, what would you rather have, a beach house or a penthouse, right? They're both elite. The question is, what style would you prefer? But if we're splitting hairs and saying who's had more success, who do you think you have a better chance to have success with, I think you have to go with Coach K if you're splitting hairs. And part of the proof in the pudding is, why is he coaching those Olympic teams? Because he's a pull for those pro players.
Yeah, but don't tell me that Roy Williams wouldn't be. Don't tell me that a Jim Boeheim, even though I don't consider Jim Boeheim as great as he is on that level, my point to you is that now it's going to be Greg Popovich. There are other coaches. Again, I don't have a problem with him coaching one Olympic, but it should have been shared. Others should have had the opportunity.
Why wasn't it?
Well, Coach K is Coach K, but also the relationships that you have, too. Let's not ignore that. I mean, the fact of the matter is that don't tell me that the players would have sat there and said, well, Roy Williams is coaching, so I don't want to play there.
No, but Coach K is more of a pull than Roy Williams. If we're splitting, Roy Williams is folksy, Coach K is a disciplinarian. They have similar success. Where there's an edge, it's Coach K. I agree with you about this. If I'm a one-and-done player, it's neither one. I'm going to Kentucky. Right, but if I plan on a little longer horizons in college, and I'm forced to choose, Coach K. I mean, like, you know, the hierarchy of college coaches, he's on top.
For me, it would be North Carolina. Well, listen, I don't know how much higher you can get if you're Roy Williams.
Yep, it's hard.
To be honest with you.